Welcome to the show if you're a new viewer, and welcome back to the show if you're returning. So I don't know if you know, but Kendrick Lamar recently dropped an album, and on the album he has a song called Auntie Diaries, correct? Mm-hmm. Where he uses the F word repeatedly throughout the song, and he has received a little bit of backlash. Not a lot. No. I don't think it's been a lot. But that is going to spur our conversation today about not necessarily the F word versus the N word, but we're just going to have a conversation about each one and whether or not it was okay for him to actually do that.
Cool. While you're here, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm TK, a.k.a. T-Dot.
And I'm Darius, a.k.a. Black Boy Fly, and this is Mind the Gap.
So how do you feel about it? What do you want me to?
Do we need to do like some more preface? Oh, my bad. No, sorry.
You do some more what?
No, like preface it more, like what the song is about and all that.
I mean, we can. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Just start off like that.
All right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna talk a little bit about the song and what he was trying to say in the song. And I feel like we really shouldn't have to do that because you really should have just heard this album.
Yeah.
You didn't have it.
It's a great album.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the best album of the year.
My advice is listen to the song and maybe come back to this.
Yeah. Listen to the song first. The song is him talking about his auntie who is a transgender woman and how he dealt with
male.
Male?
If you transition to a male, I think you're a trans.
So transition to a male or transition to
a man.
So why is it Auntie Diaries?
Because it used to be.
That's what I'm saying. I thought it was a man trans.
Hey, look, we may need to check that.
yeah.
We may need to check that. Cut. So as we found out, it was about his aunt transitioning to a man. Okay, what was the rest of your point?
I don't even remember now.
Oh,
that's why I was like, let's
we was just
over.
talking about the overall structure.
Oh, the overall structure of the song. Okay, it's basically him in first person, going through his experience with dealing with that.
Yeah.
Or, where he dealt with it with his other aunts and uncles, his mother, and actually dealing with it with his aunt.
Yeah.
And uncle at different time periods. So a lot of people were mad at the pronouns he was using. They was mad at the names he was using after he went back. But which those things are, listen to the song, you can tell that he was saying it from those different time periods. Yeah. And also him using the different pronouns was him showing his ignorance at the time of that time period, actually.
But so, what do you think about him using Auntie Diary now that he's past those times, using Auntie Diary instead of Uncle's Diary or something, or Uncle's Journal?
I'm cool with it.
But do you see how that could be a problem? If
I think that's okay as an artist, and that's my whole thing that we're gonna get into about how I feel. Like. I think that's okay as an artist because you're only speaking from your honest perspective and how you feel and what you thought.
Yeah.
So, and if at the time,
so does that give you pass for anything?
It don't give you. You don't. The artist doesn't get a pass. I don't feel like when an artist puts something out, I think it's okay, but it doesn't take away from the consequences that happen of him or her putting it out. As an artist, your job, or my interpretation of an artist, is to project what you feel and see and how you interpret the world. And how the world takes it, that's how the world takes it.
Yeah.
As long as you're still the artist that you want to be. And then for me, if the outside world, and throughout the album, he says, y'all up here pandering to critics.
Yeah.
Y'all always, y'all live in this culture of political correctness. I'm not going to be there for me to be a full artist that I need to be.
Yeah.
So throughout the album, he promotes that. So that's also what made the song hit even more for me because he wasn't afraid to do it because he wasn't worried about being criticized.
For me, admittedly, I'm biased because Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rap artist, our favorite rap artist. So I already know I'm biased. So of course I'm gonna give him like a little bit of pass. But even though I'm biased, even when I heard like him saying the hook of the song where he's saying like maggot, 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 I was like, that took me back. It took me back a little bit because one, I don't identify with that struggle because it's not something I really struggle with growing up with. And to just hear him outwardly saying that was kind of jarring, which may have been his intention. But even so, I can't help but think that it's a bit hypocritical that we're okay with him expressing himself in that way, even though he is an artist, and we may not necessarily be okay with artists like Yellow Wolf or Macklemore or somebody. Maybe if they had like a racist upbringing and they came from that, we wouldn't exactly be open arms.
You talking about who? About me?
Black people or people in general, or people who
of course,
like have a problem with stuff like that. So I can't help but think there's a bit of a hypocritical nature behind that. Because if Macklemore's on the song talking about nigga, 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 I don't think we react the same.
I'm okay with it either way, as long as it's in the art form and you're explaining yourself on something like that.
So you would be fine with Macklemore saying that?
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Even with the ER, if he's telling me about a perspective of how he dealt with something and what he did, I want the full story in detail.
Yeah,
and even with the Kendrick Lamar, when he's talking about it in a time period, and then when you get to the end of the song, who he is now, I think it was his cousin who also transitioned into. Had a transition, and he doesn't usually say the F word, which shows the growth in it. So he punches you in the mouth by showing you, which is the shock value. Yeah, and he shows you the growth throughout the whole song by also giving you a time period where he chose humanity over religion. So when he was like, even when he was in church, it shows that this was the moment where my life changed because I stood up and told the pastor, "Hey, love all people." Yeah, I chose humanity over religion. Right, and then that's when he was like, "Well, the F word."
So does your argument of the artist represent the art no matter depend on the context of art, or you think just because it's art, then it's okay for them to do it?
Biasly, I would say the content.
The content. So if we going back to the 1940s where they were saying nigga openly or some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm not.
You wouldn't.
That's the time that it's in. And the time that.
But that's the time it's in. So.
Oh well, I would say like during that time, I'm not gonna reprimand that person for that time at the end, unless it's what.
But it's still black people back there who.
I'm about to. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So in that time, if you're using it as a that's why I say content. If you're using it in a content that is hurting a community, or using it to belittle the community, then I would say no, that you're doing it. That's in any type of language anyway, for me. So if you're using it to belittle or to tear down something, then yes, I think you're wrong. But if you're using it as a content to show growth or to tell a story of something that you've been through and how you came out of it, then I don't mind as an artist. Yeah. So that's why.
As an artist. Okay, so that's interesting.
I don't like restraints on the artist.
You don't like restraints on the artist, depending on the context.
Depending on the context.
Yeah.
Bias. Yeah. In that area.
What if it's not a good story?
That's that's my perspective on it. Yeah. So it may be good to somebody else. So I gotta accept that.
I think at a certain point we can tell if they just trying to get away with saying nigga versus I really grew from this. Yeah.
Just like yeah. Go ahead.
No, that was
so like Logic said. Yeah. Logic said, and like I think it was The Return and Black White Boy, something like that. You know, there was really no noise on that.
I mean, because
it's got to be across the board. That's why even when we talk about this, you say, "So are you okay even if it's bad?" And I'm like, biasly, or even if it's outside of this right here, it's like, well, biasly, I feel like this, but I have to be okay with it because I'm okay with it here. Yeah. So it's like.
That's interesting. We've had conversations about white people using the N-word.
Because even throughout the whole song, he say cracker throughout the whole album. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I can't be too mad at all these other things because I'm not a cracker. Do I need to condemn that too? Yeah. I don't think so.
Do we?
No, because that's the point of what he was saying too. He was like, well, if I can say nigga and this is my own question, I can say it and it means the meaning things too. Then why can I say this? Yeah. He says it in.
But I don't think that's a good point, though.
It's not a good point because they don't call each other that. Yeah.
Do they?
I don't know. That's a good question. That is a good question. I don't know.
Because just like we was talking about before we had this conversation, we measured whether it was okay him said it based on like the outrage you see.
Mm-hmm.
And we was talking about like how Dave Chappelle did this and this person did that, and we was measuring about outrage. I think, and I use the point of like maggot word or like word bitch, like how women would say that. Mm-hmm. I've heard gay dudes call themselves maggot or mag, stop acting like a mag, stuff like that. And I know we use the word nigga in the black community. Mm-hmm. I think at a certain point, people just try to take back some power of the word, or they just, or it just becomes known that since we're both this, that it doesn't have that sting behind it.
Yeah, let's go back to what you used to say before. It's like, time plus, whatever makes it easier for people to get over something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it gives people like time, and then, but also you understand we live in a very sensitive world, which for me the album points out throughout the song points out throughout the whole album. Those type of ideas are pointed out throughout the whole album. Mm-hmm. It's like, y'all are not being the artists y'all can be because y'all so worried about the dollar, y'all so worried about political correctness, so worried about being canceled and all the other things that is tainting your own art.
Yeah.
This album is probably gonna be the best album all year, and we looking at Beyonce dropping, we looking at Drake dropping, Future just dropped.
No, we ain't looking at Drake. We're not looking at that.
Oh man, it's still there's a popular album, but what I'm saying is it takes him being like that is pure and honest for somebody like me. I like when an artist put his soul into any art form that they choose, whether it be a canvas, whether it be a record, whether it be an instrument, whatever. It shows I want something pure, because in this world you don't get stuff that is pure no more. Mm-hmm. And if you step on toes at the on that journey, I'm cool with somebody paying for that.
Yeah.
The world is the world. He's in Africa chilling right now.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Y'all do y'all thing on that.
That's interesting, bro. Going back to our conversation before, what word do you think is more damaging? Because your point last time was, because you didn't agree with that the first time we talked about it. When I used the example of Macklemore saying the N-word, you said that's different. Mm-hmm. And you said you didn't agree with that because of the historical use of the N-word versus the F-word. You thought, and then you start measuring.
Because we in the midst of that conversation, I was thinking about it, and when I heard it, then I heard him say it, and then I didn't apply it to an art form. I just thought, him walking down the street. You
just thought a white man saying the word nigga.
Yeah. I was like, what? Nah, I'm not okay with that. Then I got to think, my boy was talking about like him actually in the song.
Yeah, like his journey saying
Then
nigga.
Yeah, so I'm completely.
I don't know.
Now, will I feel some type of way about it? Absolutely. But mentally, I'm like, okay, this is art.
So you saying separate the emotional aspect of like hearing that word versus like the logic behind the song and what it means.
Yeah.
And all that.
That's why I'm with it.
Because that's the point I used in, like, before we had a conversation about N-word, I was like, what about in TV shows and movies where they use it, like white people use the N-words? Mm-hmm. It's a part of the story and it needs to be said. Mm-hmm. But I think, again, you spoke on the emotional, like you asked me, but does it feel good to hear that from him? I was like, nah. He was like, that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So again, that was more the emotional aspect versus like the actual context.
But I love the TV shows though. I love it. I like
because it's authentic. It's like authentic. It feels
like even in that aspect when we was talking to Dean about it, I mentioned them saying like the part about Dave Chappelle saying the F word on TV, and I felt like it should be okay because he's saying both of them, and I feel like it's okay for white people to say it, especially on a comedy show.
Yeah,
because it's still an art form.
Yeah.
So I was okay. I'm saying it's okay to say it, but I'm okay with feeling the way I feel. Even though it's a negative feeling. You feel me? Like I'm okay with feeling, I'm okay with having, I'm not in a space where I always have to feel good or I have to always accept what's in front of me or agree with it, because that's not the world I live in. And if I continue living that, then I find comfort and then I become content and I won't see the world as it fully is.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with stories being told with things in a story that I don't agree with or I feel like shouldn't be said, because my feelings are not always right.
Interesting. What inspired this conversation? I thought I had started comparing like the two words and the damage they could do, because I was coming from the perspective of like my own hypocrisy of like why even though I cringed when I heard this, it's more acceptable for me to hear this than like hearing that from somebody, like a white saying the N-word. So I started comparing these two words, but both of them carry weight. And I think, of course, we got the historical context of the word nigga behind slavery, but also,
which is one of my points when we first started.
Yeah, but also what I would, and that's why I want to talk about it, because the word, the F word is relatively new in terms of that. Point. But I started thinking deeper about it. I was like, the sentiment behind that word is not new. That's like dated back centuries year old. So it's like a cherry on top of like a shit Sunday. It's like, although that word is new, it still carries the weight of those centuries of, you know, people not liking gay people and them being persecuted because of whatever reason, whether it's religion or however people want to live, but it's mostly spurred by religion. Yeah. So I can understand how, even though that word is relatively new, it still carries the weight of that hatred behind it. And then I started thinking about the dynamics of each word, where they operate, where they have the most damage and effect. And to me, like, the word nigga operates on I picture both words on like a circle, and this is on like a racial plane. So basically, the word nigga has more impact the further away from blackness you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, the closer you get to white, the more impact that's gonna have. Somebody calling you that word. But I think the F word operates on different planes. It surpasses just race. It goes to race, gender, and all that. So you can catch that word from either way and it'll still hurt. But I think the opposite is true for that. I think the closer it is to home, the more damaging that word can be. Because it's one thing, not to diminish the power of like a white person to call somebody black, because we know how that stings. But it's one thing for somebody that's already in another group to call you the F word. But if somebody who's supposed to be your brother or in the same fight as you are, calls you the F word, I think that's a different type of hurt that can cause.
Like somebody that's not gay.
Not gay, yeah, well, not gay, yeah, not gay, like your family or somebody, or just another black person. Like I was saying the other day about Dave Chappelle, how, you know, the black group was reaching out for help, like saying this is gonna hurt us the most, but then it was mainly black people jumping on them saying like, you need to shut up or you need to blah, blah, blah. Because it's one thing to get that hatred from the outside, but from the inside, I think that causes like a different type of pain.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that, but it's still because of the it's the breakdown, like you said, of each word. So nigga is much different than nigger. Yeah. Right? But there's no F word that I could go to Britain and ask for one of those and I get a cigarette. Right. So it's like, I get what you're saying with like the hurt and how it stings and the dynamics of that word. But the weight, there's levels to everything of every insult. Right. And when we were discussing it first, I was like, those insults do not hold the same weight as the insults that we have got.
But is that a bias? Like if you a black gay man, if you a black gay man, like how do we judge that if we not that? Like I can't tell which one will hurt.
Let me ask you something. The word Karen is belittled. Do you think it should be in the same level of these two words that we're discussing?
No.
Okay then. So why do you feel like you're not a Karen? Are you a white woman who feel like that? That's what I'm saying then. So I can see from the outside based upon just first of all history and the notation that what people use it for. Yeah.
Like, but isn't nigga a bastardization of another word? Yeah. So if you take a word, does that diminish just because
we don't get mad at just also us. We don't just get mad at somebody using the ER. We don't like we don't like somebody of another race using the A neither. Yeah. So those are regardless, because if you get the ER, then you know what the person is saying. Yeah. And if you get the A, you just
but you don't think that's partly biased? If you a black gay man, do you think they have a different opinion of you? Who's been called that?
If somebody call you a NF, which one you think they mad at the most? As a
Who's
gay black man, just a white man or like a cause I get yours. So we'll just say just a random person. You walking down the street, or like let's say you like the black gay man is walking down the street, and it's like they having some type of protesting something, and some white man or whoever, white woman, black man, whatever, would take away black man says, "Hey, you ain't nothing but a NF," and he used the ER. What as a
an NFer? He called me both.
calling you both. That's what I'm saying. Which one you think? Which one of the words in that moment hit that black man the most?
You said a white man calling it.
White man, yeah.
The N-word.
Yeah. No, yeah, the N-word, right?
Yeah, I'm saying the N-word. But again, I'm speaking from my perspective. Because for a lot of people, you may not experience as much racism as you would versus like the hatred. Because you might experience more hatred growing up being a black man called being belittled by people that look like you versus this white man calling you. So although you may not, you understand that pain of a white man, you still carrying the burden of being mostly ostracized by your community. So when you say that, I can't properly judge which one would, because I ain't been through that. Is what I'm saying. Like, I can't tell you which one would hurt me more. I can tell you the N-word gonna hurt me more because I believe I'm part of that dynamic.
I believe as a gay black man, that N-word is gonna hit you harder no matter what.
Oh, that's always going.
That's why I'm at with it. I think that F word. I'm talking about that's why if they
but
both
also like I don't see it. Like you ever see that video with like white people trying to pull pranks or whatever?
They doing what?
Pull pranks, and it's like they're bumping to a black person like watch out, nigga. Have you seen those?
No, I ain't seen no shit.
Like,
I ain't seen nothing like that.
Sometimes people just laugh at them like, or you better get the fuck out of my face or something like that. Or sometimes it's a real problem.
Yeah, no, I ain't seen.
So
you talking little pranks. I ain't never seen them do that. I done seen them like go to neighborhoods and do like little stuff, like look like they about to take a picture behind them or do some other. I ain't seen that.
So it also depends on the person too, man.
I mean, of course, it's always depending on the person.
That's also that's what I'm saying. Like,
but I think insults are they carry their own weight.
Yeah.
And like if I'm being called a nigger or something, then I'm looking at it as you, especially if a white man calling me that.
Yeah.
It's a harder one. It's a harder pill to swallow because I could die behind it. As far as like, you belittle me or something like this or any. Not saying that they can't. Not saying that they can't in that emotion, but I can be killed and then you may look at me as nothing. Yeah. You may look at me as nothing. Those people.
I think that same sentiment. That's why I said the closer you get to home with the F.
No, I gave you that. You absolutely right with that.
You just had that same dynamic with another black man.
Yeah,
so
I give you that.
It's the weights. I guess the weight just carries different based on that person's experience.
Because if you white, you're not going to experience that. I can call you a cracker elf, and then it wouldn't be okay. The elf is going to hit harder than the cracker because the cracker doesn't hold as much weight as the
sting. Like
you feel me? So that's what I say. Because I go back to what you said as far as the time period, and it makes stuff easier. If I look at the time period of the N word compared to the F word, then and the damage it was done, then I'm not out because I would never call you a nigger. Yeah. My nigga, yes, but I would never call you that. But they can call each other the F word back and forth. That's what I'm saying. If we come out weight wise.
Yeah.
But to stick to the top of the conversation, far as the artist, I'm okay with you using it in any aspect.
As long as the content
I'm not
going to use not any aspect, as long as the context.
No, that's it. To teach.
Yeah. Like a teaching context. That reminds me of my man. So what about the dude like they did on Boondocks, my man, the teacher who was trying to teach Riley a lesson?
I'm okay with that. That's why it's funny. It was that was funny for me because I knew people wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Because it was like he don't know because he's looking around like you can tell like he's
genuinely like I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because he's in the hot seat. So it's like
he was
just trying to explain the situation.
If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a skit in Boondocks that's based off a real situation where this black student got called a nigga by his white teacher, but it's because the student always says nigga in class, and to get him to listen, he just
responded back to him
in a way that he would understand, and then they switched to the little black boy talking about, I would ever say nigga in class. I was like, that nigga says nigga a lot in class. You can see it, bro. That nigga always say nigga.
Oh, stop, bro.
He said, no, I called him a nigga with an A at the end.
Yeah, he was like breaking it down.
This is
the racist part of it. It was just like, yo, bro, just stop.
Bro, swinging at the fences, bro.
Stop, bro.
I wonder how they got. I never found out how they got resolved.
I think they ended up finding it.
Damn, son.
And in my mind.
And then they also had what's his name, George Willer, I think, doing the voice, a white dude doing that voice, using the word nigga. Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm just, and also, man, and also I say I'm a biased person because just a person, just because words really don't affect me. Like I really came up on the notion that, like, my mother taught me sticks and stones. People can say, all this, it can break your psychology down. But I'm confident in myself, so I never. It's rare that I allow somebody else's words to affect me in a certain manner. And I ain't saying that's everybody, and I get everybody got their own struggle, but that's one struggle for me I don't have, as far as letting what somebody say or their opinion of me or what they think of me is not. It may hit me like a white person. It may catch me like, dang, bro, you really go. But I can be like, oh, okay, you're nobody to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't affect me.
But what about
no
if they are somebody to you? Back to what I was saying,
like
talk about that.
My stepdad say that to me or something.
Yeah,
I'll be like, dang, cause you been feeling like this the whole time you been in the house, dog.
Like, whoa,
bro, we lived together for a little minute, dog. You know what I'm saying? Cause that my mental would go. I'll be like, yo,
that's a part of that confidence though. Like if you grew up in an environment and you may not have that confidence because people use those words in that environment, so it may treat you a little bit different.
Yeah, I get you. But now to go back to what you were saying before. Like the closer you are to home to your community. Now, what if you like biracial?
Yeah.
Then it hurts just the same as the F.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, oh, you been, dang, grandma, you been, you know what I mean? Like I'm slept over.
And that's a real experience that people have where like you find out granny
they didn't
only
like
accept you because you family, but if it wasn't for that.
So for me, but again, I'm in that moment. It was like, okay, this is how you feel, so I just leave it be. You know, I don't the only words that affect me is mine, like my words. So it's like, you know, I may question what somebody say, but it's like, you know, I'm gonna take what the person said and maybe like look at it like, this person, you know, why did he say this? You know, what does this mean? Oh man, he did try to hurt me emotionally. So you know, okay, then this is what this. Okay, now I know what it is. I can throw the rest of this away.
Yeah.
It's just so take what I say with a grain of salt if you're an emotional person or people words kind of affect you, because I'm not that person.
I'm taking the conversation in.
Yeah.
Nah, but
it's a good conversation.
Yeah, man. I think I'm just fascinated because that really got me down with the dynamic of like how words are used and the impact they have, which is why I thought we needed this conversation. Just on a different dynamic, just because I necessarily am not offended by a word, I can understand how it might bother somebody else or trigger somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you know, you listen to your favorite artist, Kendrick Lamar, you may be struggling with some shit like that, and then all of a sudden you hear Maggot. They may be like, what?
Because immediately because sometimes when you get hit with that, you're not thinking no more. Yeah. You just heard something.
It's like, whoa.
And you're not even thinking about what happened. Whoa. Or and if you are thinking about happening, you're still offended.
Yeah.
Or then again, you might not be offended.
And that's something that partly we have to work through.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I understand. I understand how I get why people mad, but I'm not. I enjoyed the album. I'm going to enjoy the album.
It was a good album.
Good album.
It was a very good album.
It was a good album. Very good album.
Some of the stuff I can't go back to. Like, I got to be in the mood to listen to it. Like, it's like track 3 is very bass heavy.
Which one is track 3?
I can't think of. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like that song that's just got that driving bass in the back.
Yeah, I know.
I ain't trying to hear that like on a regular basis.
Worldwide Steppers.
Yeah, I gotta be listening to like the entire album to like.
Yeah, to go back to
certain songs like that.
I mean, most of his albums. I ain't saying most of his albums like that, but a lot of his albums have those songs that is only for that moment.
That's the Pimp a Butterfly. Like, you gotta be in the mood, and you gotta be listening to the whole thing to listen to some of them out. But they don't make the song bad.
They don't make
that just means that you gotta be in the right mood.
They're like, I can't listen to We Cry Together. You know what I'm saying? That's not a Lemon type.
That to me, that was like the first time I heard. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." But on a regular basis, I ain't trying to hear you go back and forth with your girl or whatever.
But there's plenty of songs I can just go back to. Like, you know what I'm saying. N95?
It's a fire album, bro.
Savior?
Fire. Savior, that's my
Mr. Moore, that's right, my friend. Both of them.
Baby King did his thing.
Baby King did that, bro.
Yeah.
Rich Spirit, Silent Hill, Mr. Moore.
Yeah.
I love Mirror though. Ooh. Not one of the ones I can just keep going back to, but when I'm in like a mood, I can go there.
I wonder if we could just play all his albums back to back and what kind of experience we get. If we get the full totality from Section 80 to this album right here, to like actually listen and visualize.
You would go to Section 80?
Yeah, all the way to Section 80.
Or would you go for
overly dedicated?
Yeah. I feel you. Because like he really embodied who he was on Section 80.
Yeah.
And then it kind of continued. But all of it's so different though.
And that's what's crazy. Like, I think to a certain degree, he's had the same style of music musically, like the sounds he likes, more of a jazzy, especially Section 80. Section 80 sounds closer to Pimp a Butterfly than anything. You know what I'm saying? So he's always had it in him, but just to see that progression of who he was.
Because Damn don't have none of that.
No.
Damn, I just thought Damn don't have none.
No.
And Mad City just don't have none of that. Hey, but even those two are not even relatable.
Yeah.
Ooh. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Then if you look at this album really don't have a jazz feel.
It's got elements.
Yeah,
I think it's got some elements, but mainly it's kind of sounds experimental.
Yeah.
To a certain
like
degree.
his new style. Like a new style he was going for and the new sound he was trying to hit.
Even Untitled Unmastered, I'll throw that in the playlist too. We can listen to Section 80 all the way up to
Yeah.
Because Untitled Unmastered does sound like something that fit in line with To Pimp a Butterfly in Section 80.
But it's like
it's got my joint. I forgot about that song. We Don't Die, We Multiply. I forgot about that joint because he was going in on him. Yeah. That's your joint off that?
Levitate. Was it Levitate? That was the one.
That I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. He's like, we don't die, we multiply. And he was just going in.
I don't remember that.
Oh. The first time I heard was on Colbert. He did it live. That's the version I like.
Oh, you talking about, that's my joint too.
Yeah.
You talk about the one where he break down who's
the Indian
man told me that's my favorite song. I forgot about it because I watched it on Colbert. I said this man's amazing. And I went to go find the song. I can only find the live version.
Yeah.
And then that's when LeBron asked for I need all them songs.
Yeah, give me them. So yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
You gotta go back. I forgot about it.
What did the white man say? Yeah, that Jones 5, boy. Yeah,
right, bro.
Oh boy, playing the peach. Oh my goodness.
That's good, bro.
Because even I like that you brought it up. Because even in that song, he play on stereotypical ideas of different races. You think that's okay?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it all. Because the art form for me is like the effort and the beauty.
So I guess what we're trying to say. Like I agree. Because even back then we was having discussions, I was trying to frame the use of the N-word in like educational context.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So even by that aspect, I understand why he would do that. So I get why he did it. And I'm cool with that.
Okay.
All I'm saying, it was jarring for me to be like, yo.
Yeah.
He took it there.
My girl hate that. Like hate the word.
Yeah.
Like, she don't like that word at all. Even when she was listening, she kind of like, hit up, but she was actually listening.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, then she was hitting like a little bit how you kept switching in between the names to make sure you pay attention to the song. I was like, yo, this.
My overall feeling is as long as you okay with any derogatory word being used in an educational or contextual proper context, then you shouldn't have an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to check my own hypocrisy and be like, yo, would I be okay
if Malcolm
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Macklemore did this shit.
Are you?
I don't know. I have to hear it. Because first of all, Macklemore saying some stuff like that would just throw me off. Because I don't
think so.
Macklemore?
Bro, he's one of the best storytellers around. Have you heard if he would have said that in white privilege too, I'd have been okay with it.
But my point is, I don't see Macklemore flirting with that line like that. So for him to go,
yes.
Right. Well, so for here, Macklemore,
Eminem,
he did say it, didn't he? You know what I'm saying? I would be less shocked if Eminem went back to being like nigga, trying to say nigga or some shit.
When you hear Logic say it, what you think about that?
It doesn't bother me just because I know his struggle. Like I know, like if I ain't know who Logic was, I'm like, who is this white kid saying nigga, whatever. But at this point, I'm like, nigga, just embrace it. Just
like, he said F word too.
Yeah.
So both of them.
Like nigga, just embrace it. If you black, just be black. Don't keep. I'm tired. At this point,
we all tired of it. It ain't blah racial if Logic ain't though. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's why nobody listen to you now.
Yeah, bro. Just be black, be white, be both.
I said the way I listen to you. That's why, but you ain't getting as much hype as you did.
Yeah.
I listen to you.
So yeah, bro.
But I don't like that though. I'll be like, man, quit, come on. We get it.
You tell me one more time you biracial, dog.
I'm starting not to believe you because you're fighting too hard for
it. Yeah, like
I'm starting to quit.
You may be like, a 1%er or something, bro. The way you be arguing about it.
Waiting on your white dad pop up, white dad and mom pop up.
Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
I mean, you did all this, man. You gotta throw all these songs.
You are not as black as your cousin Keisha.
No, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's all I got. That's how man. I think it was good.
I ain't got, you know
I'm saying, you know, let us know if you have a problem with it or if you understand it, or because it's black people out there, period, especially those who grew up with that N words. Like I don't like nobody using it.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
But you cannot like something and understand why it's being used.
So,
and if you don't like it, you ain't got to listen to it. That's my biggest thing. That's why I never understood about that. If I don't like something, I ain't got to be around it.
But with that though, man, still
there's levels to that now. Hold on, because a lot of people weren't paying attention to Hitler. Like, I ain't got to listen to that.
Shit was they would be affected.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you talking about that crazy nigga over there? And all of a sudden, shit got real.
You know what I'm saying? I understand when I say that. There's levels to that, man. Yeah.
But I think in this case, because it already died down, if you don't listen to the song, you ain't got to listen to the song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I can't see somebody being full of hatred towards gay people actually liking that song anyway, or like feeling like, oh, he's justifying me using this word in a negative way.
No.
Because if you listen to the song, he's like, nah, don't do that.
That's another reason. Like, it's like, bro, he's not promoting it.
Right.
It's actually condemning it as the song go along. Right. Especially how he talk about with his cousin. He say, you know, come in, my cousin don't hang out no more because, you know, how he phrase it? He phrased it like, you know what I'm saying, the jokes that we used to crack no more ain't as, you know, he ain't as funny, or they, you know, he became more sensitive to the things that we're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was just very well thought out song.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So again, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow us on Patreon because videos like this maybe end up locked away on there. You're gonna have to support us to get through it.
Yeah. We'll put a little something on.
Yeah, a little
TikTok something. On something or on our Instagram, but this probably gonna go in the file.
Yeah. So and as always, mind the gap.